Walking into the room today like this is a reminder of how many people help shape this great state. Business, universities, research, community organisations, all bringing together different ideas about what Victoria needs next. And that long-term thinking matters. A strong future needs ambition, planning and leadership. But a strong future is also built from the ground up, from the lives families are living right now. Everywhere I go, people tell me the same thing. They love their community. They say that Victoria is a great place to live and work, a great place to raise kids. They love their school, their local shops and their neighbours. They love the energy of the state, from the Grand Prix and Australian Open to our live music festivals and footy. That sense of pride is real. It's part of who we are. But pride doesn't mean life is easy. Right now, families are under pressure from global cost of living forces and too from the demands of modern life. Work, school, kids, healthcare, commuting. People are doing everything right and are still feeling stretched. And when life feels stretched, the future can feel further away. So my vision of the future starts there. Because unless life works for families today, the future will feel out of reach. And for our shared future to be a success, it must be one where everyone gets a fair go. That's why our government builds the big projects that will forever reshape our state. Because when you build the train lines, the roads, the hospitals and schools, in turn you make public services more accessible. You open them up to more families and communities than ever before. My government is building the things that change a family's day and, importantly, that save families time. It's why we're making healthcare easier and cheaper with the urgent care centres, chemist care and a free virtual emergency department. It's why we're taking on the housing system, putting homes everywhere. And it's why we're making work more secure, more pay, more flexibility, free training and the right to work from home. Last year, at this same event, I said that funding secured with the Prime Minister will deliver airport rail. Well, today, and you've just heard the PM steal the thunder a little bit, 12 months on, we can say something stronger. Work has started. These new lines will get people to the airport faster. It will speed up trains through Sunshine and Tottenham, saving Victorians time every single day. Faster trips aren't just about convenience. They free up hours in a family's week. They give people time back that modern life has taken from them. But it's also not just about moving people faster. It's about keeping them safer. That's why we are investing $143 million to improve safety and accessibility at Sunshine Station. And we are rebuilding Tottenham and Albion stations from the ground up. New lighting, new buildings, better sightlines, better CCTV. These are the practical things that make people feel safe on the way to school, on the way to work, or when they're on their way home. Because the future I think about first is a safe one. The question that sits with me every day is whether families feel safe in their homes, on their streets, in their schools, whether they can see a future for themselves and also for their kids, or whether that future feels hard to imagine. Right now, too many people, too many families feel that way. We've seen young people drawn into serious offending earlier than ever before. That's why I'm taking action. We will reduce youth crime by delivering serious consequences for violent crime. And two, early interventions to stop children turning to crime in the first place. Some say you can only do one or the other. Be tough on crime or tackle the causes of it, that you either protect the community or support the young person. I don't accept that. We can and we must do both. The best approach is always to stop crime before it starts, to reach children early, support their families and give them the opportunities they need so they never reach the point of committing violent crime. But it's also clear to me and to Victorians that when young people do commit brazen violent offences, they should face serious consequences. And this week, those consequences become stronger. Today, I can confirm that on Friday, our adult time for violent crime laws come into force. So if you are under 18, this is my warning to you. If you commit a home invasion or another serious violent offence from 12:01 a.m. on Friday, and you are subsequently charged, you won't face the Children's Court. You will skip the Children's Court. You'll go straight to the County Court and Adult Court. And you will face adult sentencing, where the chance of jail is stronger and the sentences are longer. We've also strengthened bail. We've backed Victoria Police with the powers and resources, and they have taken over 35,000 dangerous, deadly weapons off the streets. We now have more police officers than any other state in the nation. But everyone here in this room today knows there's no easy solutions to youth crime. And the best solution is always the one that stops crime before it happens. That stops a young person going down a path that they just can't turn back from. This is why I created the Victorian Violence Reduction Unit. It's based on a model that's working really well in both Glasgow and London. It works because it tackles the root causes of violent crime. It works because it brings together education, health, mental health, housing, victim support and justice. It works closely with police, community organisations and the young people themselves. And it uses intelligence and data to guide where the effort goes. The Violence Reduction Unit has only been operating for 100 days, but it's already backing proven programs across our state. And one example I'll share with you today. It's 16 Yards, where at-risk kids are paired with lived experience mentors who've rebuilt their own lives and now help young people rebuild theirs. Since the Violence Reduction Unit was established, 16 Yards have already provided over 1,300 hours of mentoring to help turn young lives around. These programs aren't just theory. They're built by people who have actually lived it, who know what it's like. We're also putting early intervention officers into 20 high-risk schools, working with principals, wellbeing teams, families and police, reaching in and supporting those kids who are drifting, keeping an eye on attendance and behaviour and acting early and consistently, long before the justice system even enters the picture. I've met the victims of violent crime, parents, workers, people whose lives changed in an instant. And they all say the same thing: there must be consequences. And they're right. They are right. I've also, though, met young people who caused harm as kids, who went to jail and have since turned their lives around. They're some of the most impressive young men I have ever met. Men who now mentor others, determined to stop another kid making the same mistakes. Because the reality is that when you give a young person a trade, a stable home, a school that pulls them back in, a support worker who just doesn't give up on them, and a job that gives them purpose, you don't just change one life, you change the community around them. Youth crime begins long before a charge sheet. It begins with belonging, with opportunity, with whether a young person believes the future has a place for them And everyone in this room has a role. Businesses that take a chance on someone who needs one. Universities and TAFE that show a young person they belong. Media that chooses to see possibility instead of writing kids off. Because these young people aren't just part of Victoria's future, they are the future. And if we want that future to be safer, fairer and stronger, then we must make sure that every young person feels it includes them.